You just recording videos are for backup anyway, but after class, so again afternoon you have a communication session after that one also. So when you got a at least 15 minutes, half an hour time, just go through the notes. What are the either you written a notes or my notes or my PPT? Just go through once. What are the topics? At least we have discussed it today and what we discussed in that one. Okay. Any point you are missing, unable to recollect, sir is told this particular point. I'm unable to recollect it. It is not written here. Then you can go to the video part. Okay. That is also will help you. So all things are there. Okay. Yeah. Now it is NIC, Network Interface Card. What is NIC? Network Interface Card. Network Interface Card. Okay. If in case like you have a it is very bad thing. It is this one. Want to draw a picture and it is not giving that option. New image, no
The
more
third one is drawing.
drawing. Very good. Okay. Okay. You have a device. Think like it is a computer. For example, a PC. Okay. So it need to communicate in the network. First of all, it should connect. First network, then networking, right? I have a PC. I want to connect this to network, right? Maybe think like I have to connect it to a switch or a Wi-Fi router or wireless access point or to a hub. For example, I have a mobile phone. I have a mobile phone or a tablet or a laptop. They need to connect first, then communication, right? So, for example, I have a desktops, PCs are there. Compulsory, generally, we are using wire type of connectivity. Wire type of connectivity. So, they're required a an interface inside this. What happening? It is irritating me, but not right here. Okay. So we need a NIC network interface card. So earlier days we have a wide connectivity. So that wide connectivity we use different way of connectivity technologies, but we are using this type of Ethernets. Okay, this type of Ethernet. So can you see this is a interface card, network interface card. It is a interface card or adapter or an adapter. This side it will go to the motherboard and this outer it will show outside of your computer. Okay, so please note. Okay, so this Ethernet port or a LAN port is called a RJ45 port. This is a RJ45 port or RJ45 connector. Okay, this is the port. I'm going to the images. See, this is a switch or a hub. It is having these ports. Okay, this is a router, I think so. So this is having these LAN ports. To connect in the LAN, in generally we are using this kind of ports. This is a laptop. Can you see laptop? Currently, for my laptop also, I connected with wire. The wireless one is giving very less internet speed. Okay, so I connected with wire, so I am getting full good internet speed. This is the wire. It is a LAN wire RJ45 plug. It is okay. It is a UTP STP type of cable. It is. We are connected to like this. Okay. This is for laptop wire connection. This is a laptop connecting with the wire. Okay. So this is wire connectivity, LAN connection. People call this one as a LAN or a LAN connector, LAN port, LAN card. The card we call it as a LAN card. This port we call it as a LAN port, Ethernet port, RJ45 port. Okay, and this device is Ethernet. Nowadays, these Ethernets are built inside of your PC, means it on the motherboard. Okay, your PC motherboard, back panel connection. So you go to the back panel and front panel kind of stuff. What panel? Background, not background, panel. Okay, so it is. This is how it is. The RJ45 connectors look like. Earlier days, we insert these cards onto the motherboard on these PCI slots. The white bars have you seen? They will insert into these white bars. Now it is directly on board only. Chipset is came. So whatsoever it is, guys, it is RJ45 connector. It is a LAN card or a Ethernet card. We are calling this one. Okay, so that is what I am trying to say. So you want to connect a device to a network through the wire. Compulsory, we need a Ethernet card. Okay, compulsory, we require a Ethernet card. So Ethernet card is a NIC here, network interface card. 1 second. Hello.
Sir, please unmute.
Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
if in case you have a mobile or something like a laptop or a tab, okay, so you have to connect it to network through wirelessly, okay. So you have a wireless router is there or wireless access point is there, okay. So you are connecting through wired connectivity. Okay, we are connecting through wired connectivity, wireless connectivity. So then, of course, these devices also having a NIC. Okay, it not wide NIC or not a special device, maybe special device or not, but we have a Wi-Fi type of NIC, right? So wireless connectivity, even though we are connected to network, you have a mobile phone and you have Wi-Fi router, so definitely we are connecting. Even in a mobile phone, we have a 4G. 4G chip is there for a data connecting and a mobile connecting, mobile communication, and as well as a data connection, right? So data connectivity, that is also an NIC kind of stuff only. Okay. So this is wireless part. Even this is also wireless part. It is. Sorry. This is also a NIC. But this NIC, the wireless NIC, okay. So this thing is your Wi-Fi wireless NIC it is. It is your wireless NIC. Someone says. Sir, what is NIC you have written down side the PC? I didn't get it. What it is? Yeah, I think miscommunication. So no problem. Just I will tell. For example, you have a mobile. Okay. So anything laptop having both connectivity, wired and wireless. So tablets wireless, mobile wireless. Okay. PCs wired basically. These are the connectivity, right? So you want to communicate. If you want to communicate between these networks, okay, you want to connect. You have a device. I'm telling again, guys. You have a device. You want to connect the device to network. You should have an NIC. NIC is just a term, network interface card. You want to connect through wire. You need a wide type of NIC is required. You want to connect to the wireless related NIC is required. Okay. Next, in NICs, in generally we are using Ethernet. In generally we are using Ethernet type of NICs. Okay, Ethernet type of NICs. Motherboard, Ethernet. Okay, so this is, see, it is a motherboard. This is Ethernet port. We are able to connect it. Ethernet card, if you put it, then you can see the card also. See, this is a Ethernet card. You can see that is inserted on the motherboard. Okay. Now this we are not inserting, of course, that facility also there, but currently by default on motherboard only direct connectivities came because onboard NIC chipset is there, so directly we can able to connect it. Even you can connect in the laptop NIC port also. Just before I showed that one, so laptop RJ45. No, 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 this one. Okay, laptop RJ45 connector it is. Okay, so these are all wide type of NICs. I'm not saying it is only NIC, but in NIC different types are there. In NIC we have a different types also there. So NIC network interfaces card. So this is a wide type of NICs. This is a wide type of NIC. Okay, so to connect devices with wire. In that one, we have a one of the type of wire NIC is okay. One type of NIC is Ethernet cards. Okay, another type of NIC is Ethernet cards. Okay, one type of Ethernet is Ethernet cards. These Ethernet cards are different types. These Ethernet cards are a different types. Okay, Ethernet, fast Ethernet, Gigabit Ethernet, Ethernet, fast Ethernet, and Gigabit Ethernet. Okay, so these Ethernet cards are different based on the different speeds. It is available Ethernet, fast Ethernet, and Gigabit Ethernet. 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps, 1000 Mbps, or 1 Gbps. Okay. Okay. So here it is. Better we put it in down. Which is a notepad is always better. Okay. It's a LAN card or Ethernet card. So this NICs or Ethernet types we are generally using. Ethernet is a 10 Mbps type. The next model is fast Ethernet, that is 100 Mbps, and the next model came it is Gigabit Ethernet. In market nowadays we have a fast Ethernet and Gigabit Ethernet also. Gigabit Ethernet is 1000 Mbps. I will show you in my control panel. Go to network and sharing center. Where it is. Change adapter settings. This is Ethernet. This is an Ethernet details. You can see this is my Ethernet company, Qualcomm Ethos. This is my Ethernet organization. Okay, network connection. This is my Ethernet. It is a wide Ethernet. We don't know from this details wide or wireless. This is wireless. This is wire. You can see the symbol. Okay, this is wireless. This is wired. I have a laptop, right? So this is my Ethernet, and it is a fast Ethernet. This is a fast Ethernet. Speed is 100 Mbps. How to know? It is fast Ethernet. It is 100 Mbps only. Okay. So that's it. Because it's a laptop, because Wi-Fi is the main thing, so they choose fast Ethernet only. That it is very old one. Okay. These are the type of Ethernet network interface card. To connect, to make a connecting between your device to network, we need a NIC. Okay, so in that one I choose this is wireless kind of stuff. Next type is Wi-Fi. Of course, I just now only showed my Wi-Fi NIC to connect it to my wireless network. To connect a wireless network, I use my Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay. So to my mobile phone, I use Wi-Fi, laptops, tablets. I will connect to Wi-Fi. TVs, smart TVs are there. We can use Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay. This is a Wi-Fi NIC inside. Okay. Now, if in case you have a desktop, then you want to connect wirelessly, wireless USB adapters also there. Okay. See, this is wireless USB adapters. If in case you have a laptop, but your wireless chip is not working properly. Now what you do? So you can take this USB adapter, just connect it to your device, then you can connect it to wirelessly. So this is a NIC now. Okay, this is our NIC now. This is also one kind of NIC. This is also NIC, same, but it contains an antenna, so that more pulling the signal part is there. Built in, like your Wi-Fi adapters also there for PC. Okay, this is a USB type, but some are like this is also some USB type of wireless adapters. I'm searching for a PC local kind of stuff. Okay, like this. We can insert like a LAN card, we can insert it into your PC. Okay, and we can able to connect it. This is Wi-Fi for laptops. Actually, it is we can built inside your laptop. Your Wi-Fi chip is not working. You can purchase this one, and we can connect and we can use it. Only difficulty is connecting these pins. Pin connecting is difficult. Okay. It's like we need a mobile, at least mobile phone technique is there. This is very light, small size, no, that is pin connecting. But remaining is very simple, insert and doing it. It is also a Wi-Fi connector. This is a PCIe wireless, so PCIe connectors. So you have this connector, put it in this one, and then we can able to connect Wi-Fi. See this? This is for desktops. This is for laptops. Okay, USB types are there. But point is, guys, what is my point is that is an NIC. Whatever it is a device which make you connect to the network is called a NIC. Okay, either it is Ethernet type or a wireless Ethernet types kind of stuff. Guys, understand the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
These NICs,
Yes, sir.
very good. These NICs are okay. These NICs are Ethernet cards having a 48-bit address, a unique 48-bit address on this NIC. A unique 48-bit address on this NIC. Okay, so that is nothing but your MAC address. That is nothing but a MAC address. MAC means media access control. MAC means media access control. NIC or Ethernet cards have a unique 48-bit address. That is called a MAC address. Okay. This MAC address is also called as a physical address or a hardware address. This MAC address is also called as physical address or a hardware address. Okay. Physical address or a hardware address. Next, this is 48-bit in size, already I told, represented in full hexadecimal. This is a 48-bit in number represented in 12 hexadecimal. Okay, so it is look like this one example 0016D3FC like that. That is one example how the MAC addresses look like. Okay, so there's few more points about a MAC addresses, guys. Remember, MAC, media access control, also called as a physical address. Okay, next. Every NIC has the MAC address. Either it is wired or wireless, does not matter. Every NIC has a MAC address. Every NIC having a MAC address. And who will give this MAC address? It is given by manufacturer of NIC. It is given by manufacturer of NIC. Okay. For example, my NIC is manufactured by Qualcomm. Okay. So who given my NIC MAC address? By Qualcomm only. If you have a Ethernet card from D-Link Ethernet card is there. So that is having a MAC address. It's a unique address. Okay. And remember, guys, the same MAC address do not exist in the world. Like your thumbprint. So how it is unique, the same way the MAC address is unique in this world. Okay. So because of it is given by your manufacturer of NIC. We cannot change the MAC address. We cannot change the MAC address. We can change IP address, but we cannot change the MAC address. Okay. So and all communications by IP address only. There is another question some people ask, right? So can we communicate with the MAC address? We don't communicate to any device with MAC address is not there. Of course, while you are communicating, there is a MAC address, but direct communication, like I want to communicate from my laptop to my mobile phone or my laptop to another laptop. We cannot address them as a with a we have to call, right? We have to send a packet means to address from address. To address and from address are IP addresses only. Okay. Of course, while you are sending a packet, the packet contains to and from MAC addresses, but exactly we are not sending. That is not the main meaning. Okay. So point is, we all communicate with the IP address only. Okay. MAC addresses usefulness is there, but still all communications by IP address only. Mass spoofing is possible because some people for their network protection or to attack some other networks, other devices or to steal some data, people do MAC spoofing, means duplicating MAC address. But they cannot change original MAC address of the device. Okay, original MAC address of NIC, they cannot change it, but they spoof the MAC address using certain softwares. Okay, so and your MAC address anyway, not exposed to any internet part. Only LAN communication, not in WAN communication. No one knows what is your MAC address. Okay, it's up to limit is LAN net communication only. Okay, but anyway, LAN or WAN, we don't communicate with the MAC addresses. We communicate with IP address. Okay, MAC binding is possible, guys. For example, there is a Wi-Fi network. There is a Wi-Fi internet network is there. Wi-Fi router is there now. In our home, we have a Wi-Fi router. And Wi-Fi is protected with the password. Okay. So everyone is connecting. Some people ask, can you give me your password? This happened to me when I was in Pune. So neighbor is asking me, give me your internet for 1 hour. I thought, okay, it's okay. Like maybe let him use, no problem. Because not much I'm using also daytime mainly. So okay, I shared a pass. I didn't give it a password. I given password to directly. I configured in his mobile. What he done is shared to someone. I think so. And when I check it, I've seen not only my devices and other two devices. Additionally, there is a 4 or 5 devices are connected to my router. Then what I have done, I I not allow those devices. I allow only I know devices type only. Okay, very simple, guys. What is MAC binding? You put a list of MAC addresses, known MAC addresses, sorry, known device MAC addresses into the router. Any connection request happen, any connection request happen, like if someone is trying to connect it to your Wi-Fi router, even though they know username, password. Okay, so yeah, very good. Someone send a message. Okay, I will repeat MAC, but currently I am talking in MAC binding. Guys, this is my router, Wi-Fi router. Okay, someone come and try to connect it to my Wi-Fi using username and password. He know username and password is try to connect it. So when he is asking a connection, I have already put a list of MAC addresses. I know the MAC address of the devices, trusted devices. I put their MAC addresses here. So then whenever this guy is requesting for a MAC, okay, when he is asking, I want a, okay, so he is trying to connect to my Wi-Fi for getting connection. Okay, so what happened? It is verify your MAC address. If you check that your MAC address is also sent, it verify its MAC address. Okay, your MAC address is not in the list, then does not allow you connect. Does not allow you connect. Okay. Again, I will tell guys. First of all, MAC address, media access control. Media access control. You have an NIC, network interface card. Every NIC, either it is Ethernet type or wireless NICs, having a MAC address. Having a MAC address. Every NIC having a MAC address. This MAC address also called as a physical address. Also called as a physical address. Today we have taken a lot of time on it. No problem. MAC address. I'm getting headache now. So some disturbances will create. Okay. Shit. Okay. MAC address is also called as a physical address. Okay. It is 48 bit in size. So this is binary wise, it is 48 bit. But originally, if you check the MAC address, it is in the hexadecimal format. How many hexadecimals are there? 12 hexadecimals in the MAC address. 12 hexadecimals in the MAC address. Okay. Next. Guys, up to here, okay. What is MAC? Media access control. Every NIC having a MAC address. MAC address is also called as a physical address or a hardware address. It is a unique address. Size of MAC address is 48 bit, 12 hexadecimals. Sorry, it is represented in hexadecimal. There is a 12 hexadecimal numbers are there. Up to here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who will give this MAC address? Who will giving this MAC address on my NIC? Whether it is wired NIC, wireless NIC, Ethernet NIC, okay, anything. Who is giving this MAC address on it? Who manufacturing this NIC? That manufacturer only giving this MAC address. Manufacturer of NIC. We cannot change MAC address. We cannot change MAC address. We can't assign a MAC address. MAC address is by default on the NIC. Okay, by default on the NIC. Okay, next. We can change IP address, but we cannot change MAC address. Okay, that's about your MAC address. Of course, I'm explaining other things. One point additionally, all communications by IP address only. Okay, you are communicating, you are sending a packet. Hello. Somewhat relaxing news. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's the point. I'm trying to explain MAC binding, guys. What is MAC binding means? You have a Wi-Fi router, okay, and some people will come and ask you Wi-Fi router password. You given a password for a security purpose, but so you shared a password once, then automatically multiple people are trying to connect your Wi-Fi, even though okay you are trying to connect it is okay. Even just wantedly there are asking. So what I will do? So okay. So I put a list of MAC addresses. I put a list of MAC addresses. So this is my laptop MAC address, add here. This is my mobile phone, add the MAC address of mobile phone. I have another mobile phone, for example, I add mobile phone MAC address. I have a tab, then add the MAC tab. I have a desktop, add the desktop if in case it is a Wi-Fi wise it is connecting. Wired is okay, no problem. For security, wireless is not secure one because anybody knows password, they will connect it, right? So add the MAC addresses. Now someone is trying to connect your Wi-Fi router. The Wi-Fi router, while it is giving a connection, it will verify your MAC address. It will verify this device MAC address. It is not in the list. It is not in the list. So no connection. I'm connecting from my mobile phone. So it checks its MAC address. Yes, MAC address is listed here and give the connection. I'm connecting from my laptop. My laptop MAC address is there. Yes, give the connection. And someone neighbor is trying to connect. Okay, I removed his MAC address. Now he is unable to connect it. Okay, guys, this is called a MAC binding. You can allow certain device. You allow the connection to the certain devices based on their MAC addresses by giving MAC address to the Wi-Fi router. Understand the last point? Guys, understand about MAC address?
Yes, sir.
Good. So how to check MAC address? Before going to that one, I will tell how to check IP address. Sorry, what is IP address and MAC address difference? So that will be also will cover here, and I will show you how to check IP address and MAC address also. And finally, we'll see what is the difference also. Yes, IP address is a logical address. MAC address is physical address. MAC address is physical address. Okay, we can change IP address based on our based on the network. What in the network, what kind of IP address they are using, what kind of network IP network they are using, based on the IP network. Based on what IP network they are using, we can change it. Okay, we can assign IP address manually or automatically. Means DHCP server will assign IP address. People will get always doubts, sir. We are not assigning any IP addresses. By default, it is there. No, no, guys. You have a Wi-Fi router. The Wi-Fi router will give you an IP address to you. Your mobile phone, your desktop, your laptop, your TVs. Okay. This not IP address is not by default. Okay, MAC address is by default, but IP address is not by default. You will get an IP address from DHCP server. Okay, IP address types are IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is 48, sorry, it's a 32-bit in size, and now we are having IPv6s, that is 128 bit in size. Okay, IP address is a logical address. IP address is uniquely, guys, if you forget how to tell this one, so don't tell it. Uniquely identify a device in network. Okay, in network, communicate communicate in network communicate in network. Okay, every device must have an IP address. Okay, must have an IP address. Okay. As OSA, as per OSA layer, it is layer 3 protocol. MAC address is layer 2 protocol. That is not a big deal. Guys, look at here. What is an IP address? It is a logical address. What is MAC address? It is a physical address. What is an IP address? Uniquely identified device in the network. What is MAC address? It is unique address. Every NIC having a MAC address. Every NIC having only one MAC address. But IP addresses can be different. Okay. So every device must have an IP address, at least one IP address to communicate in the network. So we can change an IP address based on the IP network. We can change or we can assign an IP address manually or automatically. Whereas the MAC addresses are assigned by manufacturer of that NIC only. IP addresses are IPv4, IPv6 type, IPv4 32-bit, IPv6 64-bit. Okay, all communications by IP addresses, whether it is LAN communication or WAN communication, IP address only. Whether it is LAN communication or a WAN communication, IP address ways only we can communicate. Okay, so MAC addresses again 48-bit represented in 12 hexadecimal number. It is a permanent number. We cannot change the MAC addresses. Next, how to check IP address and MAC address. Yes, understand IP address, some sentences at least for differences, IP and MAC address difference. Get a MAC address. To change MAC address, sorry, not changing MAC address, to check the MAC address, you can use different ways. One is get MAC. Okay, in a command prompt in CMD, sorry, remove this thing, IP address checking, MAC address checking. Through command prompt, you can use get MAC to get the MAC address. Okay, this is to check MAC address. Okay, to check the MAC address. See this is my command prompt. I'm typing get MAC. I have multiple adapters, so I will get a list of adapters are like this. Okay. Put a user one. Command is get MAC. Don't forget this. This is the command. Okay. These are the some information. Okay. Yeah, disconnected. To save the space, I'm removing some of it. Okay, it's a get MAC, guys. Unknown word, that's why it is showing error. But get MAC is to check the MAC address, only MAC address part. Only MAC address. But I have a multiple devices, that's why it is showing. Okay, it's showing multiple MAC addresses. These are the device identities, so you can remove that one. Next command is ipconfig. Next command is ipconfig. ipconfig. Next command is ipconfig command. So what is the output of this ipconfig? This is the output. So we'll remove this part. And my connection is wireless connection and wired connection, both are there. Okay, both are there, but I am removing all these connections. I'm showing currently my Wi-Fi connector, and the link local address also I am removing because we are not discussing IPv6 here. IPv4 wise only we'll see. So what I am getting, IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway I am getting. Okay, so little changes I will do it. Small changes. Okay, so because it is I'm sharing now, so I should not share full details. Okay, accurate details for security purpose. Nothing will happen by IP address. Okay, so here it is. This is IP config, and I'm getting for this adapter IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway only. What is subnet mask? Um, just I'm telling one line, but subnet mask has very big lines are there. Subnet mask tells what is your network ID, and another one is there. Subnet mask divide IP address into network portion and a host portion. Okay. So what is this network and host portion? That is we'll discuss anyway. But I'm telling guys, you are in the one PC. Someone is sitting in another PC. We are communicating each other. to communicate between two systems, first rule is connection is there or not. Second rule is both are physically and logically must be same network. Both are should be physically and logically same network, right? So in same LAN communication I'm talking in the same LAN communication as a single network. As a single network, you are communicating means logically you are communicating means your logical address, IP address, both IP addresses, both PCs, IP address, their network IDs must be same. I mean both the PCs must have same network ID, same network ID. Then only we can able to communicate. But how it will check? Based on the subnet mask. Based on the subnet mask. Okay. Yes, next command is ipconfig/all. Of course, we have a IP addresses class is there. So then there it is a what is IP addresses, their ranges, subnet mask, how it will calculate. So we will tell. But this is to only check how to check MAC address, how to check IP address part. Okay, IP config space slash all. So what is this kind of outcome we are getting? Ipconfig space slash all. Okay, so this is my Wi-Fi and this is my adapter details. Okay, these are my adapter details. Of course, few things not required, that is what I'm removing. Link local address, currently I'm not discussing any IPv4 kind, v6 kind of stuff. Default gateway. So this is my Wi-Fi adapter company name. Or this is my MAC address. Of course, we have to change few things. That is enough. Okay, I'm getting an IP address and subnet mask and the default gateway also. Additionally, I can able to see what is my DHCP server and the DNS server's addresses and lease expiry, lease uptime, and the DHCP enable yes. Okay, see the difference between IP config output and IP config space slash all output. What is the difference, guys? In IP config, you are getting only IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. In IP config space slash all, you are getting the physical address and DHCP enable yes or no, IPv4 address, IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, and DNS servers IP addresses, lease uptime and lease expiry. Okay, that is also one question. Sometimes observation questions. What is difference between difference between IP config and IP config space slash all? How to check IP address, guys? IP config. How to check IP address and MAC address, subnet mask and default gateways and the DHCP server, DNS server, lease obtained, lease expiry. Is it IP address from, okay, from DHCP server or a manual one? Guys, yes means if your DHCP enabled, yes means you got IP address, from DHCP server. No means manually configured or static IP address. That IP address from DHCP server meaning is automatic. Okay, meaning is automatic or dynamic. So this is a some words are there like this: automatic or dynamic IP address means got IP address from DHCP server. Manual IP address or a static IP address means it is manually configured. Manually configured means a person is configured that one. IP address. Okay, so how to check MAC address, get MAC or a IP config space / all. There also you can find a physical address is your MAC address. This is your MAC address. Okay. If in case like you want to check only IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, IP config. You want to check a IP address, sorry, you want to check IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, your MAC address, your DHCP server address, your DNS server addresses, or your lease obtained, lease expiry kind of stuff. You can use IP config space / all. Yes, other than, do you understand IP config space / all kind of stuff?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
In GUI screen also you can get it two ways. One is open control panel. How you open control panel, that is your wish. You can go to search, type control panel, or go to run, type control. That is also good. Okay, go to control panel and network and sharing center. How to go to network and sharing center also your wish. Okay, so network and sharing center, change adapter settings, change adapter settings. In that one, you have to go through your adapter, on adapter or your NIC. Okay, so do right click, yes, and type details. That is one way to check the. Again, same thing only. So you can go to run or type in search ncpa.cpl. CPL means control panel. Network connections window will open. In that window, you can see your NIC or your adapter, whatever the word you use. Then what did you do? Just simply right click, status and details. You'll find all the things. This is run, guys. ncpa.cpl. You can type like this. Directly it opens your network connections. Okay. Just in case you don't want like that, you want to go to control panel. So type control in the run or search bar, means this is a search is there now. Here also you can type. Here you can type control panel. Network and sharing center. So in this view, it is directly showing, but in this view, not directly showing. Go to network and internet, then network and sharing center. Okay. Change adapter settings, same view only. Okay. This is my Wi-Fi adapter. Double click or right click, status, same window. Okay. Details. So this is my MAC address, my DHCP enabled SR now, IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server, and two DNS server addresses. Lease obtained, lease expiry. Lease obtained and lease expiry meaning is when I got an IP address, when it is going to be expired. Okay, so these are the basic details. Very good. Okay, this is how you can able to find. Yeah, you can able to crop it also. So cropping will give you this better screen width. Okay, like this. And of course you have to put something in it. Emoji reaction. That is a border. None. I want to put some ink on it. That's the only one thing I want to do. But it is not agreeing to do it. Anything. Insert coloring and all. It's okay. So later we can change that one. extensions, add-on, get an add-on. Okay, so this is how to check the IP address. IP address in the GUI mode. Guys, understand what is the IP address, MAC address, and how to check IP address, how to check the MAC address. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So later I will delete this picture anyway because I cannot able to hide anything from it. Okay, so that is become more difficult for me. When Zoom is there, submitting. Okay, so this is how to check the IP address. Compulsory, guys. Either you by heart or whatever you do, I don't mind about it. Okay, so compulsory. How to check IP address, how to check MAC address in both the command prompt ways and GUI mode also. That is important. Okay, and next one is again briefly how to check IP address. I will tell again, guys. To check IP address in two main commands. One is ipconfig, another one is ipconfig all. Okay, so okay. Next one is you can check the IP address from GUI mode. 1 second. Okay, guys, look at here again. I'm telling how to check IP address and what is the MAC address. Every NIC must having a MAC address. Either it is wired type of NIC or wireless type of NIC. It contains a MAC address. MAC address is also called as physical address, and this MAC address is 12 bit in binary, means 0 ones kind of stuff. 48 bit. Sorry, 48 bit it is. Okay, so while it is writing, while it is, if you look at that one, it is a hexadecimal format. Totally 12 hexadecimal numbers are there. Okay, this MAC address is given by manufacturer of NIC. We cannot change the MAC address. We cannot change the MAC address kind of stuff. Okay, because it is given by manufacturer of that NIC only. No one is giving that one. Okay, we can change IP address, but we cannot change the MAC address. All communications by IP address only. We cannot directly address any device with a MAC address. You cannot send any packet to any device with that device MAC address. You have to send through IP address only. Okay, Of course, there is a MAC address is helpful in the network, but this is it. Okay. IP address, whereas IP address is a logical address, MAC address is a physical address. IP address uniquely identified device in the network. Any device which is communicating in the network must have an IP address. Okay. IP addresses we can change based on your IP network, or it can be changed or assigned either manually or automatically. Okay, we have a two type of versions in IP address, that is IPv4 version, IPv6 version. IPv4 32-bit, IPv6 128-bit. Okay, as per OS layer, IP addresses comes under layer 3 called a network layer. MAC addresses topic comes in a data link layer. Data link layer. Okay. Next, to check IP address or a MAC addresses, we have a command called a get MAC. We have a command called a get MAC. If you put a get MAC, then you will get a all your adapters, their MAC addresses here. Okay. Next command is ipconfig. Ipconfig is used to check your IP address and the subnet mask and default gateway. Okay. ipconfig is used to check your IP address or a subnet mask and a default gateway only. Another command is ipconfig all. What is ipconfig all? Of course, you can check. It will show you IP address, subnet mask, default gateway address, plus you will see your MAC address. Physical address is your MAC address. Okay, your DHCP server address, DNS server addresses, and DHCP enable yes or no. Also it is shown. Lease obtained, lease expiry. Guys, if you are seeing lease obtained and lease expiry kind of stuff, and also you are seeing DHCP server address and DHCP enable yes, means it is a perfect example for a, okay, it is a kind of perfect example for you got an IP address from DHCP server. Okay, you got an IP address from DHCP server. Your point is our Wi-Fi router in a home. In our home, we have Wi-Fi router is there, right? Our Wi-Fi router act like DHCP server. So if you say like, sir, we don't have a DHCP server at home, how can you say like this? So of course, okay. So you have your Wi-Fi router, we connected to your Wi-Fi router. So your Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server, it will give IP address. The GUI, okay, what is GUI? In a graphical user interface, how to check IP address. Graphical user interface, how to check IP address. So here it is. Okay, you can go to the control panel. Go to control panel, go to internet and network or a network and sharing center directly, change adapter settings and on adapter or a NIC, right click, status, details. So there you can able to find your IP address, subnet mask, default gateway and DHCP server address, DNS server addresses. Okay, lease obtained, lease expiry, physical address and your NIC description and DHCP enabled yes or no. Okay, so these are the points we are discussed in this point. Okay, so MAC addresses and what is IP address part. Some point I am missing here. Okay. Yeah. I will give you one more example, guys. That is, close this one, close this one. The last one here. If in case, if you assign an IP address, this is DHCP enabled yes, and you got an IP address, subnet mask, lease obtained, lease expiry, and DHCP server address. Meaning is you got an IP address, this IP address from this DHCP server. Let's look at here. I have a PC. I got an IP address from DHCP server. Okay, it is showing IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and DHCP server address kind of stuff. DHCP server address means you got IP address from this particular DHCP server. That is, we are getting that information here. So who is my DHCP server? So this is my DHCP server. I am getting this IP address from my this particular DHCP server. Okay, this is one point. Just in case, IPv6. IPv6 means version 6. We are all using currently IPv4, and of course, and some people using now already IPv6. So maximum we are using IPv4 only. It is very big IP address kind of stuff. It is a version 6, version 4. It is 32-bit in the size. It meaning is it is a 4.3 billion IP addresses we will get in a one single IPv4. Total IPv4 size is 4.3 billion IP addresses. It is 128 bit in size. You know how many IPv6 are there? 3.4 into 10 to the power of 38 billion IP addresses. We will get 38 IP addresses. 4.3 into 10 to the power of 38 means 3.4 into 10 to the power of 38, meaning is 3.4 billions of IP addresses we are getting it. Billion IP addresses we are getting it. Okay, it is IPv6 is very big in size also. Okay, of course we will discuss at IPv4 IPv6 time. Okay, but I want to show you a few things here. See, this is an adapter details. I got an IP address like this. Okay, from DHCP server, some DHCP server. So if you go to this properties, IPv4 properties, guys, obtain IP address automatically means obtain IP address automatically means get IP address from DHCP server. Okay, get IP address from DHCP server. Automatic type. Okay. Next, use following IP address means manual. Configure manually. Okay. Next, in case You want to configure manually. You will select second one. Use following IP address. I will give some IP address 192.168, maybe 10.23. And this is a default subnet mask. Gateway, if required, you can give the gateway. If you want to give DNS server, you can give. But it is manual one. Depends upon my requirement, I will give. So I given a I part. Okay, now check once again. So it is DHCP enabled no means I configured IP address manually. DHCP enabled no means I configured IP address manually. Understand? So it is manual. Okay. Once you are done checking this one, so I will delete these pictures because this become very heavyweight. Sir, from where we can fix the IP address? We don't fix. What are you? Okay, no problem. Guys, depends upon your current local network. Depends upon your current local network. Okay, you will assign an IP address. Okay, for example, I have a desktop. I want to assign an IP address manually. So what is my network configuration? What kind of network here they are using? I want to assign manually means I have to check what kind of network it is and what is the available IP addresses. Then I will assign that IP address. In case it is difficult to assign IP address manually, you don't know which available IP address is there. Then what I will do? I use DHCP. For example, I didn't assign any IP address to this particular NIC. I got this IP address from DHCP server. Okay, I didn't assign any IP address here. I got this IP address from DHCP server. Okay, if in case I have my own network, my own LAN network is there, I want to assign an IP address. First of all, I will plan how many number of devices. Is it a 10 devices, 100 devices, or 1000 devices, or 10,000 devices, or 1 lakh devices? Number of devices. What kind of IP address? What is that range? I will decide first. Then I will plan to implement the giving IP address to the devices. Either manually I will give the IP address or I use a DHCP server to assign an IP address to the devices those are connected in my network. Okay, so it is a very lengthy part explanation, but it is very simple actually. See, this IP address I assigned manually. How I assign, I will show you again. So I go into the properties of this particular adapter, IPv4 properties, then see this is use following IP address and I given that IP address. This IP address cannot be changed automatically. Again, I have to change manually. Okay, but you want to get an IP address from DHCP server, you have to select this one. So then you will get an IP address from DHCP server, which is you are connected, which DHCP are connected. That from that one you will get an IP address. Okay, same way obtain DNS server address automatically means get IP address and DNS server address from DHCP server. See, I got an IP address from this DHCP server. Yes means I got an IP address from this DHCP server. Okay. If in case I don't want it, I want to assign my own IP address. I don't want to get an IP address from DHCP server, or I don't have a DHCP server. Then I use manual IP address. I can assign as per my requirement. Depends upon my planning. I can assign like this. I can assign remaining things also, like it is. I got the same IP, but DHCP enabled now means who given this IP address? I am giving this IP address manually. I configure that IP address. I hope you got the point. Okay, guys. Right, so 121. Okay, so remaining part we will discuss tomorrow about cables, devices, and all kind of stuff. I can complete the cables. I hope this is a first day, and I